This is the entrance of the World Heritage Site in Cambodia, where we are going to visit Angkor Wat. To get there, we flew to Phnom Penh, and then from Phnom Penh we hired a taxi and drove to Siem Reap, and then from there we went in a tuk-tuk. This is where we are now. The water that you can see is actually from the moat. There's a whole moat that completely surrounds Angkor Wat. There it is with an aerial footage. You can get some aerial footages from a balloon there, which is available. It's $15 a ride or something. It's great. But here is the entrance. There's people fishing in the moat. This is the main wall of the entrance, and as you can see, there has been a lot of damage done over the years. These should have pine cones on the top, the steeples. There's been hundreds of years of civil wars and invasions, and every time something's happened, it's done damage. You can actually see bullet holes in a lot of the parts of the brickwork where they've actually been one-to-man combat. So at some stages they've actually used the temple as a fort. Here's the library. There's a couple of libraries in the temple. They've been ransacked and destroyed over the years, just like the churches were ransacking Alexandria in the Roman times. Apparently there's some papyrus books at the museum in Phnom Penh. I never got to go there, but I'll definitely will make a point of it in the future. Angkor Wat was stumbled upon by the French in the 1850s during their explorations, but apparently the Portuguese came upon it back in the 1600s. There's also a lot of documentation of Chinese dignitaries visiting in the 11th and 1200s. The 11th and 1200s would have been the height of this empire. They were known as the Khmer Empire, and they ruled a huge area. They controlled Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, Burma, Malaysia. So it was like the Roman Empire of Asia. They called it their world, and it was their world to them. Satellite pictures have confirmed that the whole of Cambodia was crisscrossed with man-made canals. One for farming, for the purpose of rice, and two, the other one, very importantly, for the transportation of goods and commodities. In those times, in Angkor Wat, the population was more than 1 million people, compared to the population of London at that time, which would have been lucky to get over 100,000. What happened to this great civilization? Well, you know, no one really knows. A lot of people make a lot of guesses. They're saying that there's a huge possibility that they had incredible droughts, that the river dried up and they had to move the city, and they moved down to where Phnom Penh is now. Other people have been saying that maybe they got part of the Black Plague. We do know that the Black Plague did go into Asia, and with a large population that Angkor Wat was, well, it could have been absolutely devastating for them. But, you know, we don't really know. What we do know is what we can see, and some of these engravings on the stonework are just absolutely beautiful, and it covers the whole temple, and you can just look at them. A lot of them tell stories and tells about the history and the battles and the wars they had. The actual workmanship, the brickwork is really, really accurate and really good. It was originally built as a Hindu temple for quite a few hundred years, and then it changed over to Buddhism when Buddhism became the fashion. It's thought that the temple was purely for the use of the kings and the high priests, but we don't really know that either. We do know there was a lot of pools within the buildings. The outside of the building is made from sandstone, but the inside is actually made from volcanic stone. There's been restoration over the years. The French did some restoration. The Italians have done restoration. The Japanese do a lot of restoration, and now the World Heritage, they're doing a lot of restoration as we speak. A lot of the statues of the gods have got their heads chopped off and arms broken, which is pretty sad. But a lot of these statues too have been moved around over the years as they changed their preference to different gods. So the statues that we see now wouldn't have been the ones in the 1150s or 1200s. Throughout the history of our history, the pine cone has served as a symbol of human enlightenment, the third eye, and the pineal gland. This stone is the centre stone of the whole temple. It is the very middle of the temple. I stand on the stone and I pull out my phone and turn on the compass. And as I point it to one of the windows, I notice it is exactly on the meridian. One window goes to north, another window goes to south, one to west and one to east. This has perfectly been built on the meridian, which is incredible. This is just like, this whole building is built like the Great Pyramid. Surrounded by water, on a meridian, underneath these pine cones would have been like a voice in a megaphone. The energy of these pine cones would have gathered, would have made these meditators, these gurus, they would have made them space travelers, traveling to the astrals, visiting different worlds.